This is Chris Bailey, Vice President and General Manager of ABC Columbia. Many of you have traveled with us in the past to places like Germany, or perhaps you've been with us to Prague, Paris, Switzerland, the French and Italian Riviera, Austria, Italy, or Ireland. If you've been with us before, you know we stay in the best hotels in the country and provide unforgettable group tours, dinners, and sightseeing. It's a fun way to travel with old and new friends and discover exciting places in Europe. This year is no exception. We're going to Italy. We'll board our U.S. Air jet in Charlotte for a direct flight to Rome. As we arrive at Fiumicino Airport, we'll be met by our host for the week, our trip providers, DT International. We'll be taken by our luxury motor coaches for a quick trip along the Italian coast for the first part of our Italian adventure, Sorrento and the Amalfi Coast. We'll travel to the beautiful Bay of Naples. This will be followed by lunch with wines of the region at the Trattoria Medina. After lunch, we'll continue along the spectacular Amalfi Coast to our home for the first part of the week, the Grand Hotel Royal in Sorrento. The balance of the afternoon is free to relax and get settled. One of Sorrento's most highly regarded hotels, the Grand Hotel Royal, is situated in the heart of Sorrento on a cliff high above the sea, overlooking the Gulf of Naples and Mount Vesuvius. Our hotel is set within a large historic park adorned with beautiful camellias and orange and lemon trees. The hotel features a characteristic Sorrentine swimming platform accessible by lift from inside the park, a scenic swimming pool on the edge of the tough cliff with a hydro massage pool and a spacious sun deck, 3 bars, and an a la carte restaurant. The Royal is less than a 5-minute walk from Sorrento's main square, perfect for sightseeing. Your room opens to a furnished balcony to relax and enjoy the view of the Gulf of Naples. In the afternoon, you can relax at the Caprice Bar with an afternoon tea or sip an aperitif on the cliff-top terrace overlooking the sea, to the sound of pleasant music from the piano bar. Tonight, it's Welcome to Sorrento over dinner with wine at our hotel, enjoying the spectacular views of the Gulf of Naples. The next morning, and every morning on an ABC Columbia trip, an included buffet breakfast is served. After breakfast, we board our vans for a tour of the Amalfi Coast. With dramatic winding roads, vans are preferred to tour buses in this region. We'll stop in the village of Amalfi with its beautifully preserved cathedral and cloisters. You'll have time to explore, have a coffee, or browse the boutiques. This area is famous for limoncello, and you'll want to pick some up for souvenirs. We then continue to Ravello and see the Old Town Center, which dates to the 6th century. Here you'll also have time on your own for exploring and lunch at a local taverna. To complete our journey of the Amalfi Coast, we'll stop in Positano for photo ops and a family-style dinner with wine at La Tagliata. The next day is free to do as you please. You can visit Giardini di Cataldo, an estate with its beautiful lemon trees, or perhaps walk the narrow streets lined with quaint houses and the monasteries and palaces of the old quarter. Or take a ferry to the island of Capri. Ride the funicular to town center and visit the ruins of the villa built in 30 AD by Emperor Tiberius. Back in Sorrento, tonight we have a very special dinner planned. We'll be guided to Il Buco Ristorante, a superb restaurant in the wine cellar of an ancient convent. Savor a delightful dinner with wines of the region, topped off by an elegant atmosphere. The next day, after breakfast, we're off to Pompeii. We'll walk through the ancient ruins remarkably preserved after being buried in ash after Mount Vesuvius erupted almost 2,000 years ago. We then continue to Cantina del Vesuvio, situated in the Vesuvius National Park. With the volcano as your backdrop, be treated to a tour of the vineyard, then wine tasting at Grappa, followed by lunch. We return to the hotel late afternoon. Dinner this evening is on your own, perhaps a chance to stop back at that little place in Sorrento you discovered earlier in the week. The next day, we're off to the Eternal City, Rome. When we arrive in Rome, we'll be treated to lunch with wine at the Ristorante L'Archeologia on the Via Appia. After lunch, we'll be taken to the Colosseum and stroll through the ancient streets of the Foro Romano. Mid-afternoon, we'll continue to our home for the second half of the week, the Regina Hotel Baglioni. The balance of the afternoon and evening are free to explore Rome and have a dinner at an eatery right on the Via Veneto, where your hotel is located, really right in the center of Rome. Our hotel exudes old-world charm and is just a stroll away from the most famous landmarks of the Eternal City. Be sure to take time for a glass of wine or cappuccino at one of the many sidewalk cafes on the Via Veneto, one of Rome's most famous areas. While the Hotel Baglioni dates back to 1904, it was recently restored and renovated to provide all the latest amenities, and it's a perfect spot for time spent in Rome. The next morning, breakfast is served. We are then off for a guided introduction tour to the cherished sites of Rome, including the Spanish Steps, Trevi Fountain, and the Pantheon. The remainder of the day is free to experience Rome on your own. Don't forget to bring your 3 coins to throw into the fountain. This evening we'll go to the Piazza Farnese for a farewell dinner with wine at the Ristorante Campocini. After dinner, take time to say goodbye to Rome, perhaps strolling back to the Trevi Fountain, and this would be the time to throw in your 3 coins to assure you'll return to the eternal city of Rome. The next morning we depart for the Rome airport and our direct flight back to Charlotte. I'm often told ABC Columbia trips are trips of a lifetime, where memories and long-lasting friendships are made. Join us this year, won't you? Until then, arrivederci.